It's a brisk evening in the city of Fountains here at Legends Field in Kansas City, Kansas, as we get set for Kansas City and OL Reign. Welcome in. I'm Josh Tolan. With me is former Marquette Golden Eagle Lisa Roman. And Lisa, you look at the standings right now for OL Reign, a win or a draw, and they will solidify that second spot in the standings.
Really keeping things tight in the NWSL regular season, right down to the wire in this last weekend. Only 4 teams have clinched so far, still 2 more spots to be awarded.
But for Kansas City, they have been strong at home this year, unbeaten in their last 7 home games.
That's really the story of this, is how well Kansas City has done, especially playing at Legends Field. They have 3 wins, all of those coming at home. And Josh, the very first win in Kansas City club history coming against OL Reign. Desiree Scott, a rookie for Kansas City, a player that has just done tremendous in the front line for them, growing so much.
And then on the other side for OL Reign, well, they start off the season slow, but then once they made the coaching change to Sam Lady and ultimately Laura Harvey, they have been a much different looking club.
Josh, you mentioned OL Reign's start, definitely a little slow, 2-5-1 in their first 8 games, and since Laura Harvey took over in mid-July, OL Reign has only lost 2 games. They are just stacked with so many goal scorers. Le Sommer, Jess Fishlock, Rose Lavelle, Megan Rapinoe, doing so many great things.
And then the one you did not mention, because we want to highlight her right now, Bethany Balser, 9 goals on the season, second best in the NWSL.
Forward Bethany Balser in contention for the Golden Boot race. She has 2 braces on this season, and all of her goals coming from inside of the box. This season, Balser is taking more risks than ever in the final third. She puts herself in really dangerous positions and is aggressive but effective in front of the net.
She's been impressive this season. As we take a look now at the starting 11, we'll begin with Laura Harvey and OL Reign.
OL Reign sticking with their 4-3-3. I mentioned all those prolific goal scorers, Lavelle, Fishlock, Le Sommer, Marjan, Rapinoe, all in the front line, and a win on the line tonight for OL Reign. So those players need to play a big part in how they score and attack Kansas City.
Jump onto the other side, and Hugh Williams, this will be his starting 11 this evening.
No Haley Mace for Hugh Williams and Kansas City in their 4-4-2 formation. So Mallory Weber slotting into the left back position, sticking with that diamond in the midfield that has proven to be successful for Kansas City this season.
Hugh Williams talked about how once they made that switch to the diamond midfield, they've been able to find success. They'll look to do it once again here as they look to knock off OL Reign here in this final game of the regular season for both Kansas City and OL Reign. Welcome back as we are moments away from opening kick here at Legends Field in Kansas City, Kansas. OL Reign looking to solidify that second spot with a win or a draw tonight against this Kansas City side who has made Legends Field an absolute fortress in their last 7 games. They have yet to lose at home. OL Reign trying to go off on a high note as well as Kansas City. Of course, at half, we will have the new name for Kansas City for you, so you'll want to stick around for that in the new branding. Club did a great job putting that together, and we'll have all that for you here at halftime. And we are underway from Legends Field. Josh Tolan, former Marquette Golden Eagle, Lisa Roman with you. Lisa, your expectations from both sides here in this game?
A lot on the line for OL Reign. They need to clinch this win in order to secure a first-round bye and then hosting the semifinal match. And for Kansas City, this is their last match of the regular season, and Kansas City has just been on a tear in these last few weeks, disrupting a lot of teams' playoff chances, and they're playing at home in front of their home crowd. I expect big things from both of these squads. Not much on the line for Kansas City, much more on the line for OL Reign, but that doesn't mean Kansas City doesn't have a lot of heart in today's match.
Hugh Williams talking about wanting to go off on a high note here to end the season, but also talking about how the difference in this team has been when they made that transition to the 4-4-2 diamond midfield is really when things began to change for this club. Of course, with this team being an expansion side coming together in December, took a little bit of time to get everything going, but he's really felt like they've found a flow, and he's really loved how the team has battled this year as Huerta will pay it out to Le Sommer on the overlap to Huerta, crossing to that back post. Rapinoe tracks it down and plays it back near midfield. McNabb to Rapinoe. Rapinoe with the cross. Deflected, and we'll have our first corner of the game for OL Reign.
Josh, already we're seeing the type of pressure that OL Reign and Laura Harvey wants her team to put on Kansas City. Getting into the box, we saw Sofia Huerta far up in the flanks. That's what she does best, sending crosses in and just so much pressure, drawing this corner kick for the Reign.
Driven into the near post, and that one just goes back, and we'll have another corner here for OL Reign.
Jess Fishlock making that very dangerous near post run. You can see it's a short corner kick from Rapinoe as she tries to find Fishlock on that near post. Fishlock trying to backheel it in across the goal mouth. Kansas City just blocking it.
High lofting ball. Arjan. That one just knocked over by A.D. French. What a shot and what a deny by the Kansas City goalkeeper.
I like the long lofted corner so much better from Rapinoe. Lands right at Marjan's feet. Heck of a strike from her, but A.D. French, cat-like reflexes to tip that ball over the crossbar.
A.D. French coming back to her home state of Kansas after playing with the Portland Thorns, coming over in a mid-season trade with them. 5th in NWSL history in saves. Rapinoe drives it, headed away by Elizabeth Ball. Barnes plays it up, but cannot clear it back in. Headed back by Hamilton. Where it's switching sides to Rapinoe. Rapinoe, a solid game in the friendly against South Korea with a goal and assist. Rose Lavelle also back with OL Reign. She had a goal in that one. As Quinn, they'll play it up. Scott. Back to Kiki Pickett, this year's number 4 overall draft pick out of Stanford. McNabb. Back to the captain, Lou Barnes. Ball will push away, but Lavelle nearly got to it for OL Reign. Now Scott sends it out to the far touchline.
One of the most difficult things for teams to come into Legends Field and play here is that the field is so narrow. For OL Reign, they're handling it really well in these first 4 or so minutes of this match, and it's thanks to Laura Harvey. Last time OL Reign played here at Legends Field, they lost to Kansas City because of how narrow the field was. Today, she's encouraging her team to use the entire width of the field and make sure they take up every inch of space they can. Then, as soon as they lose the ball, collapse in on Kansas City to win it back.
This one played up and past the end line. Laura Harvey also talking about, yes, how this is a baseball field. Cheney Stadium, also a baseball field, but this one's actually a smaller field, so the shape's different. You talk about the surface being different as well. That plays a factor in that style that she spoke of.
It's a really bumpy field. It's not very smooth.
Great slip ball through, but French right there before LeSmere can get to it for OL Reign.
Beautiful slip ball by OL Reign, trying to find Les Omer right between the seams.
Just saw Laura Harvey there. Just 2 losses under her leadership last week to the Washington Spirit. And then when she first became head coach once again for OL Reign against this Kansas City side. Fishlock plays it back, looking for Marjan, cleared away by Bowen.
Fishlock and Kansas City, they looked confused on that ball that went through. No one for Kansas City stepping on Fishlock, and then as Fishlock stepped up to it, she just passed it blindly into the middle, and she had Rose Lavelle wide open at the top of the box.
When we talked to Hugh Williams about this club, he's talked about how impressed he's been by the team, their attitude, battling through everything this season, working as hard as they have, never turned the switch off. They've come along tactically making that switch, but have become much more effective and efficient here later in the season.
Josh, we mentioned the switch formationally. Now Kansas City with a 4-4-2, playing a diamond in the midfield with a holding 6 in Desiree Scott, Lola Bonta being a high 10, and then Edmonds and Bowen out wide on the flank. He switched to this position due to the personnel he had, knowing that he really wanted to exploit the space on the width of the field, especially when playing at home.
Hamilton looking for LaBonta, and offside flag is up. Kristen Hamilton, Caitlin Rowland, and Haley Mace all coming in a trade with North Carolina that sent Amy Rodriguez to the Courage. There, look at Hugh Williams, full suit tonight.
He looks good. Dressed up for the last regular season game for Kansas City, last home match, last game ever for this squad in Legends Field, as they'll be playing at Children's Mercy Park next season.
Hamilton, that one just over the boot of Bowen. Now Lavelle will go the other direction, charging forward. Like that hit the hand, and it did. Our referee in the center, Laura Rodriguez tonight.
OL Reign is doing a really nice job defensively, dropping back behind the ball. Before Rose Lavelle picked off that pass from KC, there was 7 white jerseys behind the ball and only 3 red jerseys looking to attack.
Rapinoe. Arjan going out wide. Rapinoe sitting in. Knocked down by Weber, but not fully cleared. Coming up late is Huerta. Back post ball once again, curling, and this will find its way out of play. Weber. This one brought down by Huerta. Huerta began the season in the front 3, and now under Laura Harvey has moved to that back line, playing that outside back position.
Personally, I love Sofia Huerta in the back line, especially on the outside. She can get up the flank, whip crosses into the box, and Laura Harvey even mentioned she does better back there when she can see the whole field. It's much easier when you're a defender and you have everything in front of you versus being a forward when either your back is to goal or your back is towards the rest of your team. And Huerta has really stepped into the outside back role and just had so much confidence.
She talked about how it wasn't that difficult of a change for Sofia Huerta since she's played there in the past. Here, a beautiful ball forward. Lavelle pushing up here. An opportunity for Lavelle. Brings it to her left foot. Fires away and blocked by Weber. Now cleared out.
Big missed opportunity there for Rose Lavelle. She had the initial cutback and a wide open shot, but Mallory Weber, the defensive efforts from her, tremendous to get back and slide into the path of Rose Lavelle.
Rapinoe. Another corner here early in the game for OL Reign.
Here is Rose Lavelle. This initial cutback, she loses 2 defenders, and then it's Kate Bowen sliding into Lavelle to make that incredible tackle and stop the shot from going in.
Fishlock. Jenkins will clear this way. Jenkins a solid second half here for Kansas City. Weber. Good hard challenge there by Marjan, and will be a free kick now for Kansas City.
Slide tackle in from behind against Weber. Pretty aggressive slide tackle, taking out her legs.
Final meeting of the season for these two teams. You go back. OL Reign won 2-0. Bethany Balser with a brace in that one. They lost 1-0 as well. Corsi. A great look at Laura Harvey, who's led this team to 2 NWSL Shields in the past, 2 NWSL championships, both time falling to Kansas City. Looking to lead her team back to the playoffs once again. Labonta. High arcing ball. Booty can't handle as it spills out and then able to cover it up.
Great run from Lola Bonta. She's the top of the midfield diamond for Kansas City. Lofted ball into the mix, and it's Hamilton who tries to get her head on it.
Lissamaire, an opportunity here for OL Reign. Kicked away by French.
Not the best shot from Lissamaire. We've seen her rip the ball, especially from that distance, and find the corners. It almost looks like the ball got caught up under her feet, and French diving to make that save with her legs, not even with her hands.
One of the reasons that Hugh Williams traded for A.D. French, world-class goalkeeper, and showing off her skills here this evening.
And not only for French's skills, but also her leadership and being in the back line. It provides so much confidence for Kansas City in their defensive organization, knowing that French is behind them, being a vocal organizer.
French, 2-time goalkeeper of the year in the NWSL. Marjan. Huerta right now leading the NWSL in assists. Of course, they have Bethany Balser, who just trails Ashley Hatch. Balser with 9 goals on the season. Huerta sends it on the ground, but stopped and played away by Kansas City. Jenkins. Now at midfield, and Alana Cook. Barnes will go out wide to McNabb. McNabb, all 5 seasons she has played in the NWSL, all with OL Reign. Quinn. They'll bring it back. Cook, diagonal ball. Looking for Rapinoe, headed away by Kiki Pickett. Rapinoe.
That shot didn't feel great for Rapinoe. As she went to kick the ball, she got tackled immediately, all clean and everything, but when you hit the ball with that much power and the ball and your foot just gets stopped, it's a pretty rude awakening for your ankle as it's locked ready for the shot. She seems okay as she heads to the corner.
5th corner of the evening already here for OL Reign. Ball loose, and now sent away by Bowen.
Lots of options on these corner kicks from Rapinoe sending it in. It's Alana Cook who almost gets on the end of that last one in the mix, landing right at her feet.
Barnes with a missed touch. Coming up fast is Kristen Hamilton. Huerta, though, back at midfield. Lissamaire. Talking with Laura Harvey about some of the players that have really improved over the season. She mentioned Lissamaire as well as Marjan having to come over to the NWSL and really adjust to the transition of play. And once they figure that out, they've done a fabulous job here for OL Reign. Of course, you look at what Lissamaire has done in terms of scoring. She has been terrific, one of the world's best. And here in her first season in the NWSL, she has 5 goals.
We've seen a number of mishits, especially from OL Reign. That one coming from Rapinoe. Last one off the corner kick from Barnes in the back. It's really because of the turf a little bit. The way the ball bounces, it's a much bouncier turf that has patches of really hard grass and areas where the ball just bounces really high, and then other spots where it dies, giving the ball weird spin after it hits the ground.
We've heard various coaches talk about those different spots, whether it's hard or soft areas of the field.
It's just the inconsistency that makes it so hard to judge for opponents coming in. And really, one of the biggest advantages that Kansas City has is they know this turf. They know where those patches of hard and soft ground are, and they really know how wide, or rather how narrow, this pitch is.
Well, we talked about how they're going to be playing at Children's Mercy Park next year, but what they've also done is the ownership group doing an excellent job of really building this club. A $70 million stadium is going to be put down in downtown Kansas City on the riverfront. If you haven't seen the pictures yet and how it's drawn up, it looks absolutely stunning. Going to be the first of its kind here in the NWSL, specifically for this Kansas City side. Of course, at halftime, we will have the new branding of this Kansas City side as well as the name. So we will have that revealed for you at half. That's something you'll want to stick around for. Cook. Laura Harvey thinks has a spectacular future ahead of her. Really can be one of those big players that can be one of the best center backs, not just here in the States, but around the world. Scott dispossessing the ball from Lesmer. Now into Edmonds, who's basically played every position but what she was brought in for. Hugh Williams talked about how originally they wanted her to play up front, but she's played in the back line. She's played at the 6. She's played up top in the midfield.
Edmonds being so versatile, it's really so impressive to see that she can slot in everywhere. And I had to ask Hugh Williams if she could play anywhere for him, where he would want her. And he said that was so hard, probably in the 6 or the 8 position, because tactically she reads the game so well, and she can play on both sides of the ball, defensively stopping plays and disrupting opponents' momentum, and offensively creating, getting assists, and has great vision up the field.
Williams talking about how she's brought character and leadership to this side. As this is played out to Lesmer. Crossing, looking for Fishlock, back heeled away by Ball. Quinn to Huerta. Lesmer looking for Rapinoe, and Pickett goes up, heads it back, and why not another corner for OL Reign?
Lesmer looking to send that cross in, but really Rapinoe, the only player for OL Reign pressed up against Kansas City's back line. Players like Lavelle, who are so quick, need to be pressed up against Ball and Corsi, so on a cross like that, they can crash in.
Quinn. Rapinoe chipping it in. Lesmer, solid touch there, and then sent into the side webbing.
Fun touches from Lesmer, trying to juggle the ball as it's crossed in.
Great weekend to close out the NWSL season. 4 straight days of NWSL games. Go back to Thursday in Racing Louisville and Gotham. That one ending 1-1. Chicago clinching a spot last night with a victory over Orlando with a Kaylee Watt goal. Of course, tonight you also have Portland and North Carolina. North Carolina in a must-win situation in that. And then tomorrow, 2 more games for you with Washington and Houston kicking at 2 p.m. And then Gotham and Racing Louisville closing out the season at at Red Bull Arena. Corsi, the player down. Of Corsi with that armband, you see that coming off, so you gotta think that her night might unfortunately be done here. Try to go back and see what happened to Rachel Corsi.
Jess Fishlock not thinking it's a foul at all. Having some conversations with our official.
So they're going back to the foul with Fishlock. Maybe a high boot there?
Up against Edmonds on that one. Now as Corsi gets stretched out. And you're right, Josh, she did take off that armband she was wearing.
So we're told that Taylor Leach was warming up on the sideline. We'll see if Kansas City, unfortunately, might have to make an early sub in this game here in the 22nd minute. Rachel Corsi, captain's armband here, also represents Scotland. Corsi, Hugh Williams talking about such an integral part of that back line for Kansas City, one of the veterans that leads the way when you have one of the younger players, and Elizabeth Ball next to her as well as Kiki Pickett. So Corsi will unfortunately have to come off, and Taylor Leach will come on for Kansas City.
Interesting, as soon as Corsi went down, you could see she took off that armband immediately. She knew her night was done and she needed to come off the pitch. Smart soccer players, knowing their bodies, understanding their limits, chatting with the trainer. And although this is the last game for Kansas City, still need to take care of your body, and there's no playoff implications on the line for Kansas City. So smart move by Corsi to understand her body.
Brings in this second-year player and Taylor Leach, but she's played professionally overseas with 3 different sides in Sweden. Did score her first ever goal against Houston earlier this season. Not put in to be a goal scorer, she'll be put in to protect that goal with A.D. Franch behind her. Lavelle to the end line. Hamilton squeezes through 2 defenders, now tries to avoid Fishlock, plays it out wide at Kiki Pickett. Pickett for Labonta, just too heavy of a touch. Quinn, the player on the ground for OL Reign, but they are able to get up. Quinn playing the full 90 in Canada's 1-0 win in the second match of this celebration tour. There's Desiree Scott, another Canadian, winning gold medal.
Lots of internationals for this OL Reign team, and head coach Laura Harvey said that this game for OL Reign, there's a lot on the line. They are playing for second place in the standings. They want that first round bye in the playoffs, and they want to host a semifinal game. So Laura Harvey bringing out all the stops in tonight's match, despite the internationals getting lots of minutes over the international break last week.
You also look at the importance of hosting that game as opposed to having to travel possibly across the country to play one of these other sides. Hamilton back into Weber, the Labonta right there as well. Now to Weber. Weber going at Cook, on the end line. Chance here for Edmonds. Weber poked away. Labonta sends it into the stands.
That's exactly what Hugh Williams wants for Kansas City. It's Mallory Weber and Kiki Pickett outside backs for him, getting up the flanks. We saw Weber making that streaking run. She didn't get the first ball, but she continued her forward momentum, ultimately gets the ball back and tries to send crosses into the box, but really compact on this near flank for Kansas City. If they can spread out the ball movement, have Lola Bonta stay centrally more, they can swing that ball around.
Nice scoop pass to Lesamere. Offside flag, though, was up against OL Reign.
The second or third offside call for Lesamere. A lot of credit to Leach and Ball in the center back. Doing really well to hold her tight on that line and keep Lesamere even and honest.
Barnes sends it high into the sky. Quiet night at the moment for Sarah Bouhady for OL Reign. 80 French with a spectacular save in this one already. Game very much could be 1-0 OL Reign. A win or a draw for OL Reign, and they clinch that second spot in the NWSL table. Kansas City looking for one final home win here at Legends Field. Bowen. This one played away by OL Reign. Back is Pickett. 80 French there as well. Lavelle chipping it forward, looking for Lesamere. Fishlock on the opposite side. That's where Lesamere goes. Rapinoe inside, but right there is Desiree Scott, the destroyer.
Great ball movement by Kansas City to play out of the pressure there.
Jenkins on that far touchline. Jenkins 3 goals on the season. Jenkins coming over in a trade from OL Reign that sent Zira King from Kansas City to OL. Leach. Edmonds. Desiree Scott in the circle. Pickett on the far side of the field. Inching forward. Knocked down by Lauren Barnes. The Bonta wins it back for Kansas City. Weber.
Kansas City midfield is doing such a nice job of finding the pockets of space as soon as they lose the ball to pick it back up off OL Reign, and then immediately you see Lola Bonta dropping off her defender, trying to turn up and receive that ball quickly, passing it right back out to Edmonds. The quick 1-2 touches for Kansas City has been really effective to keep the ball in the middle of the field.
McNabb looking for Lesamere on the long ball. High hop. Lesamere gets in position to her right, and then one back by Weber. Huerta in the channel. Fishlock. Scott trying to spring a counter the other direction for Kansas City, and LaBonta slows it up for the moment. Hamilton's second best 11 in 2019, by far her best career season in the NWSL. Also would go on to Australia that year and win the Julie Dolan Medal, the highest honor in Australia for in terms of being the best soccer player in the country. Quinn, highest Canadian ever drafted. Number 3 overall, originally by the Washington Spirit before coming over to OL Reign. Lassamere. Huerta.
I love these streaking runs from Huerta up the flank. The runs from Huerta are so effective because she immediately loses her defender, because Katie Bowen doesn't know if she should pick her up or if Valerie Weber should pick her up, whoever is on this near side for Kansas City. And because of that, Huerta tends to find herself open as the ball goes into the middle of the park and then back out wide to Huerta.
Jenkins. This one off McNabb. Kansas City unbeaten in their last 7 home games. They have not lost at home since June 26. 3 wins, 4 draws during that time. Longest regular season home beating streak ever for any NWSL club. You go back to 2013 when the Western New York Flash did that. That year, Adie French was a rookie with the Flash.
There seems to be a theme, Adie French in goal, and it's really hard for opponents to score. Just a testament to how good French is as a goalkeeper.
LaBonta from distance.
Not a bad look from LaBonta. She had the space in the middle of the field, but really just not struck well enough. It almost hits the inside of her foot too much, back by her heel instead of her laces. You can see as she strikes it, her hips don't get around the ball, so it does go wide, and it doesn't have a lot of power on it.
Pickett pops it up into the air. Lassamere right there. Now streaking forward is Fishlock. Lavelle heading in out wide, but no one there for OL Reign. Back is Taylor Leach, who came in just a few moments ago for the injured Rachel Corsi.
That made me nervous, Josh.
A little footwork there from Adie French.
OL Reign is doing a nice job of keeping the ball in possession, but as soon as the ball gets into their attacking end and really the final third of the field, the forwards, Rapinoe, Lavelle, Fishlock, Marjan, even Lassamere, they're not really on the same page. You can see the through balls coming through, but no runners there, crosses into the box that aren't going to anyone. You saw that there from Rapinoe to who?
Huerta. Back post curling. And then hit in. That's going to be an own goal. That looked like it might have gone off Kiki Pickett for Kansas City. But the threat of Huerta crossing these balls in, a big factor here into this goal.
Huerta curls it in towards the back post. Lavelle overruns the ball. And it does look like it's Kiki Pickett who gets the touch on this one. Unlucky for Pickett as she's running back towards her own goal. Tough body positioning from her. If she could turn her hips up, backpedaling, making sure you have good defensive positioning. That looks a little different, but great job by OL Reign. They've had their foot on the gas pedal throughout this first half, sending so many crosses in. We've seen 7 or so corner kicks from OL Reign, just so much pressure on Kansas City's back line, forcing that mistake.
Now a little breathing room for OL Reign, a win or a draw, and they clinched that second spot in the NWSL standings. Hamilton looking to tie things up. Hamilton on left foot in the inline, and she's going to run out of room. We're going to say I originally ruled it a corner kick, but now goal kick. You can hear the sideline talking about how'd you change that. Scoop pass from Huerta. Quinn pops it forward.
OL Reign goal scored in the 35th minute and own goal in the 35th minute.
That own goal officially coming in the 35th minute. Edmonds. Labonta near side and Weber. Lavelle with the back heel to Lesamaire. Lesamaire. Edmonds back. Lavelle at the top of the area. That one off Elizabeth Ball. Backspin and right into the arms of A.D. Franch.
You don't usually see A.D. Franch let a ball like that bounce inside her own 18. Tricky play there from Franch, but OL Reign, a lot of pressure. You see Lesamaire and Lavelle combining. It looked like Lesamaire could have gone initially to goal instead of holding up and finding Rose Lavelle at the top of the box.
Bowen. Now the captain Barnes will sit it up to Huerta.
Not a bad look from Bowen. She thought Hamilton was making that run inside her defender. Just not on the same page there, but you can see Bowen and Edmonds, they've done a lot of switching from one side of the field to the other. Now they're both pinched in right in the center circle in the middle of your screen. But because of that, that movement is really good for Kansas City. Having Edmonds on one side and then switch out from left to right. Bowen attacking on this left side for now.
Minute here at Legends Field. Goal coming from, well, it came as an own goal from Kiki Pickett, but stick around here. A few minutes away from halftime, we'll have the name revealed for this Kansas City side, as well as the new crest. Kansas City doing a great job with the video that they put together for your halftime entertainment.
Kansas City is doing a nice job overall with their rebrand, announcing the new facility, the new training facility, the new stadium to be built, and now the new crest and the new name. It's really an exciting time to be a Kansas City fan.
Tonight, draw tonight as well for OL Reign. They will have that first round bye. Again, the new look here in the NWSL, 6 teams going to the NWSL playoffs with the top 2 getting a first round bye. 3 will play 6, and then the number 4 seed will play the 5th seed here to begin things next weekend.
And OL Reign really a number 2 or a number 3 seed in the playoff standings. Like you mentioned, a win or a draw, they get number 2, which so many perks come with that. Less travel, a first round bye. A lot of things looking up there and looking shiny for Laura Harvey and her squad.
Of course, the NWSL Championship will be at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. You can get your tickets now at nwslsoccer.com/championship. Another new facility here. We'll have the one from Kansas City, and then two new stadiums with the 2 expansion sides with Angel City as well as San Diego. More destinations for NWSL fans to go to. Now doing a good job intercepting that pass by giving it right back. Pickett able to track it down on the touchline. Pickett going at Quinn.
Great defense by Quinn. Slow down Pickett, get their body between player and the ball, and just win possession.
Fishlock nearly won that back, but Bowen right there for Kansas City. Jenkins takes a deflection. Rapinoe will play it back.
Jenkins trying to do too much on her own there. She had Pickett wide.
Labonta crossing. Chopped down by Barnes, now sent away. Scott. Arjun applying the pressure for OL Reign. The giveaway and Ellis Amir charging up the field. Leach back. Lavelle. A little space for Lavelle.
Although Les Omer picked off the pass from Kansas City, it's really Marjan that deserves a lot of credit for that turnover and starting the transition. She put so much pressure in the midfield for Kansas City, forcing that mispass. It's the work really off the ball and the tiny details from Marjan that has made her so special, especially on this OL Reign team. We don't say her name too much, but it's because she's doing all these tiny details that don't look like much, but it adds so much to the game for her team.
Marjan, 3-time German Football Player of the Year. Bonta not agreeing with that.
The referee has issued a yellow card caution to Kansas City's number 9, Lola Bonta, in the 43rd.
Definitely a foul called for sure. Labonta coming from behind, taking out Rapinoe's legs. And then the yellow card awarded to Labonta.
Lavelle on the end line. Nearly and a half. 1-0 lead for OL Reign, coming off an own goal. We've had 13 own goals this season here in the NWSL. I guess that would be the Golden Boot winner right now, if we could count that. But right now, Ashley Hatch in lead in the Golden Boot chase.
13 own goals. Wow. What a stat that is. I really think it's a testament to the pressure from forwards and sending crosses in, taking shots, putting pressure on opponents' defensive lines that really force them to make mistakes. If there aren't runners into the box offensively, these defenders wouldn't be scoring own goals. We even saw it on the goal happening tonight in the first half. There was Rose Lavelle making that run into the box.
The third own goal on the season against Kansas City. Meanwhile, OL Reign has conceded 4 own goals. No other team has conceded more than 2 on the season. And shoulder to shoulder there between Jenkins and Huerta. Stoppage time brought to you by Verizon. We'll have 2 minutes of that here in the first half.
2 minutes.
Darian Jenkins looking for a corner kick call after that shoulder-to-shoulder bump with Huerta right on the end line. She doesn't get it. No foul called either, just a 6-yard kick for Buadi.
Kansas City may be down, but they are not out. Came from behind last week. Ultimately got a draw against Gotham, coming from Kristen Edmonds and her penalty kick. Game very much could be 2-0 OL Reign, but 80 French with maybe the save of the week so far here in the NWSL.
Ooh.
Lavelle out wide for Rapinoe. Fishlock brings it down. Lassamere. Two players on her as she loses possession. Jenkins. Quinn. Rapinoe for Merjan. And that one stopped by a diving 80 French to cover up that one hopper.
Great job by OL Reign. Keep the ball moving around the box. Even as Lo Levanta picked it off from Lassamere, OL Reign keeps the pressure on.
45 minutes in the books. OL Reign up here at half. Lisa, your thoughts quickly before we head to break.
OL Reign putting so much pressure on, so many crosses into the box, corner kicks, shots on 80 French, and it forces a mistake from Kansas City. Kansas City only finding success really when they pick up the ball and move super quickly in transition.
Kansas City will head back to half. They'll look to make adjustments. Meanwhile, OL Reign looking to hold on to this 1-0 lead, possibly add to that total. But of course, here at half, we'll have halftime stats as well as the reveal of the team name and crest for this Kansas City side. So exciting things coming up here at half. Stick around right here on Paramount. Welcome back as they are about to reveal the new logo, the brand, the crest here for Kansas City. You see the bracelets that were handed out before the game for these lucky fans in Kansas City, doing a marvelous job putting this video together on the new brand, the new reveal of this name. Exciting things moving forward into 2022 here for Kansas City. We've talked about Children's Mercy Park next year, as well as the new $70 million stadium that's being put in. But it's going to be a fun one as we'll take a look at the video right now.
There is a force that courses through the heart of America. A relentless energy in the rhythm of the city. The humming in the air, in the souls of the proudest fans in the world. KC is a sports town, and we are taking it downtown, where the rivers that form this city unite, where the rushing never stops. We never stop. Calm on the surface, we are the fury underneath. We rise up, we stand strong. Power lives here. We are the Kansas City Current.
And welcome the Kansas City Current. That will be their name going forward, as there you get a look at the beautiful crest that they put together. And here you see some of the meanings here behind the crest and what the marketing team did to put this thing together.
You love to see so much thought behind the crest. I love the power of three for the athletes, for fans, for women. Together we rise, the wave of the current, born on the banks of Kansas City and the Missouri rivers. Current is the force that unites us. So much thought that goes into it, and I love the traditional crest shape that Kansas City has gone with here, as before before it was just a regular circle as their logo.
The two stars representing the states of Kansas as well as Missouri, the vertical letters, and there you get a great job at taking a look at what's going to be the stadium that's going to come here in a few years. $70 million put together for the stadium that's going to be right on the riverfront.
Right on the riverfront. It's a very fitting name, the Kansas City Current along the river. Looks beautiful to me. It's so impactful to see how much money and effort and thought is going into this franchise, their facilities, the name, the crest. It's really fun to see.
A $15 million training facility also coming in. Kansas City, their ownership, their leadership group doing an excellent job with everything that they've done. You look at this team coming into existence in December and already have put together a great club, and this club's going to look to have to come from behind as they trail here against OL Reign by a score of 1-0. In turn, we'll have halftime highlights and stats. Welcome back as we are in a half here between the Kansas City Current, as the name was just revealed, and OL Reign. OL Reign up 1-0 as we'll take a look back at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of play between the Current and OL Reign.
Fun first match here at Legends Field. It started early. So many corner kicks from OL Reign throughout this first half. This one, really close call, but AD Franch, cat-like reflexes to dive backwards and make sure she tips this one just over the crossbar. It's not the only time AD Franch kept this game really close in the first 45. In the 13th minute, this one coming all the way back from Buari, flicked on to Le Sommer. It looked like she had space to go forward there. Instead, she holds it up and finds Lavelle running into the midfield. AD Franch making this sliding tackle here with her knees, keeping the ball out of the net. Second great save in a row from AD Franch. Towards the end of this first half, it's Rapinoe sending a long lofted ball into the box. Kansas City not able to clear it initially, and Huerta, beautiful cross in, jumbled up. It's Rose Lavelle making the initial run in front of Franch. Franch can't grab this ball, and then it's Kiki Pickett for Kansas City. Just missed touch, and an own goal for Kansas City to put OL Reign up.
The own goal, the only blemish on the board for the Current in that first half. As we take a look at the stats, you have the shots favored by OL Reign, shots on goal as well as possession. We don't even see the corners there. 7 corners in that first half for OL.
Says a lot about how OL Reign is putting so much pressure on Kansas City's back line. And the Current really not doing that bad when they get the ball, looking to move quickly in transition. Lola Bonta doing a nice job of dropping back into the midfield to pick up the ball, but that own goal for Kansas City, that has to hurt at this point in time. OL Reign looking for a win or a draw for that second place spot in the playoffs.
OL Reign looking to solidify that second place, like you said, so they would have that first round bye. We do know Portland will be the lone team as of right now with the bye, with that NWSL shield, as you see the flag being hoisted up and the new crest being brought to Legends Field here in Kansas City, Kansas. What a moment for these fans to be a part of, as the crest is now on the flag. So it is official. We'll step aside and return with the second half kick. Back, OL Reign, the visitors up 1-0 over the Kansas City Current. And before we get back to the action, let's take a little time to get to know a little bit more about Sierra King with today's Bio Blast presented by MasterCard. You look at Sierra King, she was actually drafted originally by Utah Rose FC, was in a trade with Kansas City that sent her to OL Reign, but look at what she did at NC State. Over 40 goals in her college career.
I love this stat. In 2020, King scored her first goal less than 20 minutes after entering the game. Talk about an impact player making an immediate impact, and really that's what she's done throughout this year with OL Reign.
She's one of those players that can be a threat up front for Laura Harvey in this OL side. We'll see if she's that threat possibly here tonight against the Kansas City Current. As there, you get a great look. The new jerseys, the new kits here with the crest on the front there as the Kansas City Current now make their official entrance into the NWSL here for the second half.
How exciting for Kansas City fans, Kansas City players now. The Current wearing that new crest on their shirts, on their kits. It looks pretty good, Josh. I like the way the crest fits on the red kits there.
We were talking about how that crest looked, the flow of that river, the KC there. No doubt that this team has created a new identity. You got to talk about the Longs, Brittany Matthews as well, the owners of this Kansas City side, really doing a phenomenal job for this team and what's ahead for them in the future. Exciting times as they'll look to bring more great players to the great city of Kansas City.
I love the colors as well, sticking with the teal, the red, even a bit of navy blue in that new crest. It really looks sharp.
And you look at this Kansas City side, one sub used in that first half. Taylor Leach came on for the injured Rachel Corsi, and it looks like Victoria Pickett now will come on, as well as Victoria Pickett will replace Katie Bowen. Victoria Pickett, a player that Hugh Williams in this Kansas City very high on, with what she brings to the field, ability with the ball at her feet, can just glide past defenders. She'll look to provide a little offensive spark here for the Current here in the second half.
Katie Bowen, traditionally more of a defensive player. We've even seen her play that defensive 6 role for Kansas City and Hugh Williams. And now adding on onto the field, Victoria Pickett, it is more of an offensive-minded substitute here for Hugh Williams, as I know Kansas City and the Current, they want to end their season on a positive note with a win in this regular season with their new name and their new crest.
This one repelled away. Josh Toll and Lisa Roman with you here from Legends Field in Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City unbeaten in their last 7 home games, looking to find an equalizer here in the second half. Look at this team under Laura Harvey, just the 2 losses. You go back to the last time Laura Harvey was in the playoffs. You go back to 2015, where ultimately she led Reign to the top seed in the NWSL standings and to the NWSL championship, where they fell to Vlatko Andonovski in Kansas City. So Megan Rapinoe, Lauren Barnes, Jess Fishlock on that team as well, as Amber Brooks back with the side after going to the Houston Dash briefly before returning. Now Elizabeth Ball will set up. Elizabeth Ball with her first goal a few games ago in the 3-0 win against the Houston Dash. Edmonds. Now to Victoria Pickett. So you got Victoria Pickett on, as well as Kiki Pickett. Labonta. Fishlock winning the ball back for OL Reign. Fishlock looking for her 35th NWSL goal. If she gets that tonight, she will be the 9th player in NWSL history to reach that mark. Leach to Pickett. Fishlock right with her. Now Rapinoe. Rapinoe with the left foot off of Ball. And another corner for OL Reign.
That's the second block from Ball that we've had in this game. Such great defensive positioning as this ball is picked off by Fishlock, played right to Rapinoe. A nice rip by Rapinoe. You can see AD Franch diving in the background as Ball gets her body in front of that shot.
Rapinoe smile to the crowd.
7 corner kicks for OL Reign in the first 45. Just a few minutes into the second half and already another corner kick for OL Reign.
Rapinoe, back post. And that one fired through, and OL Reign has a 2-goal lead. LeSumer with her 6th of the season.
The 8th corner kick is the one that does it for OL Reign to start this second half. Heck of a way to come out for OL Reign in the first 5 minutes. Rapinoe set up by the corner flag. She sends it in. Rose Lavelle gets a touch on it and just redirects it towards the back post. And it's LeSumer on that back post who's able to tap it in. Really great positioning by LeSumer. And now a really nice volley by her as well, finding back the net.
For Laura Harvey in OL Reign. Laura Harvey, you mentioned it in the first half, Lisa, how they really want to win this game. They want that bye in that first round of the NWSL playoffs. Saves them from having to travel out east, possibly. You also look at the comfort of sleeping in your own bed. Not having to worry about possibly leaving the state of Washington until the NWSL championship.
Really, the travel is just such a big factor, especially for a team like OL Reign, all the way in the Pacific Northwest of this country. Think if they're playing a team like Washington at home in DC, they have to travel all the way to the East Coast. The time change plays a factor into that. And not to mention, sleeping in your own bed at home. I mean, who doesn't want that before a big playoff game?
Chicago Red Stars clinching a berth last night with the win over the Orlando Pride.
Ooh.
So we're looking for the final 2 spots to be filled here for the NWSL playoffs.
No foul called on Huerta as she got taken down a little bit as Weber went in for the slide tackle, didn't get the ball. Huerta tried to jump over Weber's legs, and then Huerta getting tangled up. You saw LeSumer there fighting for the call. Take a quick look at what happened here. You see Huerta attacking Weber. The initial fall, and looks like Weber's slide ends up between Huerta's legs. The whistle says stay silent.
Chance here, Marjan.
Lots of time for Marjan in the box as that ball bounced towards her. Almost too much time. If she hit that first time, she would have had an open shot towards goal.
Leach to ball, undrafted out of Penn State, began her career with Portland before going on to Utah Roads. Beautiful pass up, but Hamilton unable to get there, and then a hard collision with Bouhaddi. Bouhaddi down on the surface for OL Reign.
Kristen McNabb, the defender for OL Reign, trying to use her body to shield Hamilton, but overrun, so Hamilton has a clear path towards Bouhaddi. It looks like Hamilton's knee goes right into Bouhaddi's face.
Bouhaddi coming over on loan from Lyon. He's been with Lyon since 2009. Hamilton handed the yellow card. Nothing serious for Bouhaddi. Of course, OL Reign began the season with Karen Bardsley. Bardsley then suffered an injury.
Issued by the referee to current number 25, Kristen Hamilton.
But now Bouhaddi in control for Laura Harvey. You look at coming into this season, OL Reign didn't have a goalkeeper on the roster. They had to make some moves to find one after Michelle Betos was picked up in the expansion draft by Racing Louisville. Of course, Casey Murphy traded to North Carolina. So hopefully nothing serious, just a bloody nose, we hope, for Bouhaddi. As we'll take a look at another angle, Hamilton given the yellow card on this play.
You can see as Hamilton gets around McNabb on her left shoulder. Oh.
You saw that knee go right to the face of Boody. Hope everything's all right in that hard collision.
You saw the trainer checking out Boody's teeth as she holds a tissue to her bloody nose, making sure everything's still in line. Boody doesn't look to be in too much pain, though. It could be just a tough cookie.
Backup keeper Fallon Tulis-Joyce might possibly make an appearance here for OL Reign. We'll see what happens with Boody. Usually they get the tissue up there, they'll put some cotton balls in there, try to stop the bleeding.
As soon as the bleeding stops, Boody is most likely good to play, but you can't let any blood get on the kit, on the gloves. That's when it becomes an issue.
Gracie Tulis-Joyce warming up just in case. Again, if something more serious like a broken nose, so you don't really want to speculate, but you wonder how that affects Boody going forward.
Broken nose isn't that bad. Snap it back into place. It happens to the best of us when we're playing this great game of soccer. She looks to be okay, not in too much pain, so that's really good to see. But the second yellow card awarded to Kansas City, Lola Bonta getting one late in the first half, and then Kristen Hamilton getting one for this collision with Boody.
Boody, another one of those players that's really adjusted to the NWSL game. In France, much more aggressive keeper coming out more often. She did that in the first couple of games, got burned on it a couple of times. And ever since then, it's been a little bit more reserved when she goes out and challenges. That time, though, the collision, nothing she could do about this. For OL Reign tonight, if they are to hold on to this score line, it'd be their 13th win of the season. As you look at what's going on in the NWSL standings, Portland, of course, win the NWSL Shield. OL Reign right behind them in that second spot. Chicago with that win last night, now in third. Washington in fourth with 36 points. Then you have Gotham, Houston, and North Carolina. Still a chance to get into the playoffs.
Still a chance for North Carolina. Chicago clinching last night in their win over Orlando, and of course the Pride, Racing Louisville, and Kansas City out of contention for the playoffs this season, but Kansas City current with the new name, new crest, they're ready to go for next year already.
Kind of look at some of these playoff scenarios. North Carolina would be eliminated with loss. Gotham, they clinch a playoff berth with a North Carolina draw or loss. Meanwhile, Houston clinch a playoff berth with a North Carolina loss.
So many moving parts still. It's really just proves how exciting and competitive this NWSL regular season is, and it's coming down to the very last weekend, even the very last match day tomorrow, Sunday, in the regular season before these teams and positionings in the playoffs are determined.
So you look at tonight, Portland taking on North Carolina. That'll be another one to keep an eye out for sure. You look at North Carolina, they've made the playoffs every year of their existence, back-to-back NWSL champions in 2018 and 2019. Then tomorrow, what a game between Washington Spirit and Houston Dash. That one at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then closing it out at Red Bull Arena. Well, we might as well put her on the top to go out. Carly Lloyd in her final game, possibly at Red Bull Arena, as Gotham will host Louisville. That one will be at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Good to see Boody standing up, getting the finishing touches on her bloody nose, make sure she's ready to go. She's not coming off the pitch, not in this match for OL Reign, it seems.
She wants that clean sheet, looking for possibly her 6th of the season. Laura Harvey talking about how they want to clean up their defending. Try and do that tonight here against Kansas City. Really have done a good job. Kansas City still looking for their first shot on target. If you can see Elizabeth Ball back there, well, there you get a great look on Kiki Pickett, the crest of the Kansas City Current.
Fun name and new reveal at Legends Field. We saw the flag raise, and now as they're wearing the kits proudly for this 2021 season.
Love the combination they have with the red and the teal.
And really just so much meaning behind the crest in the wave, and the 2 stars representing both the states of Missouri and Kansas, where the city of Kansas City sits right between. I love all the meaning that goes into a crest. Every single aspect of it, the colors, the positioning, the design, there's a reason for all of it.
Cook playing it up. So Boody back up and ready to go to finish out this one for OL Reign. Barnes sidesteps, 2016 Defender of the Year in the NWSL. First one not named Becky Sauerbrunn to win that award. Of course, we've seen other players become Defender of the Year. Another one that comes to mind right away, Abby Dahlkemper, now with the Houston Dash. Pickett, Ball will send it high into the air. Jenkins flicks it back, but right there's Kristen McNabb. Now Lavelle. Quinn, they'll play it out wide. Huerta. Huerta crossing. Dangerous ball to Rapinoe. Fishlock, she can strike from there. On the return from Lavelle. Quinn.
The creativity from OL Reign to keep the ball moving in their attacking end. They try from one side, it goes across. They don't give up, they keep trying, they keep being creative.
Just look at the players on this roster for OL Reign. You look at the talent that's on the field right now, the talent that's on the bench, the depth that they have on the bench as well. With some of the various players that they can bring in, like Bethany Balser, who's second league in the NWSL in scoring. Then you also add in a Danny Weatherholt. Step overs here from Huerta, crossing with that left and flicked on, but just wide. Rapinoe could not get that one through. Beautiful pass once again by Huerta, just unable to get the goal here at the end.
Huerta dancing, she loses Weber, her defender, and Rapinoe inside the box. She gets goal side of her defender. Could she have gone up with her left leg instead of her right, using the inside of her left peg to find the back of the net? That one's gonna haunt Megan Rapinoe for sure.
Cook diagonal ball coming over to McNabb. A little heavy of a touch there by McNabb, but still controls. Pickett applying the pressure.
Substitution for Kansas
And now Addie
City.
McCain will come in, and McCain will replace Desiree Scott. So you're bringing in another player here for Kansas City to provide that jolt offensively.
She's replaced by number 28.
Really good season from Desiree Scott. Hugh Williams speaks so highly of Scott and how well she plays that 6 defensive mid position, breaking up anything offensively from the opponents. And Addie McCain, a young player in this league with this Kansas City team that's getting more and more minutes under Hugh Williams for Kansas City, trying to show what she can do. And you're exactly right, Josh, a big offensive player in Addie McCain.
McCain in her first year out of Texas A&M, where she was all SEC first team. Kristen Edmonds now with the captain's armband in this one. So we saw it begin with Corsi, then transfer over to Desiree Scott, and now to Kristen Edmonds. Still waiting for that first substitution for OL Reign and Laura Harvey. Usually begin to see that around the 65th minute or so. I have to wonder maybe with Quinn playing a full 90 for Canada, if they could be one of those subs, bringing the likes of Danny Weatherholt to close out this game for OL Reign.
With the substitute of Addie McCain checking onto the pitch, McCain will play higher. You see her now just to the left of Hamilton with the ball. And it'll be Kristen Edmonds who goes from a wider position, dropping back into that 6 defensive midfield role.
Marjan. Nice slotted pass to Rapinoe, back post, and driven through. And what a pass, and what a goal coming from LeSamaire. She now has a brace.
Beautiful ball in from Marjan, finding Rapinoe, and then Rapinoe gets her head up. And LeSamaire, what a hard run with purpose towards the back post. She gets goal side of Weber, her defender. And that is LeSamaire's 3rd brace of the year. She now leads the league in braces with 3.
7 goals now on the season for LeSamaire. You talk about the braces that OL Reign has had on the year. LeSamaire, Bethany Balser, Megan Rapinoe. I believe maybe even Fishlock in there as well. Fishlock did have a brace in the victory against Chicago. So you're just looking at multiple players for OL Reign. That just shows how dangerous they are. And then you have young players like Allie Watt as well as Zierra King. OL Reign team really built to make a deep run in the playoffs. That goal ultimately being hoisting the trophy at Lynn Family Stadium as Victoria Pickett is the player slow to get up.
Hard hit against Pickett. She hits the turf hard, but does get up pretty quickly. Good to see the substitute coming in, providing a bit of a spark in the midfield. Now alongside Addie McCain, lots of fresh legs for Kansas City to be creative in the attack and try to get on the board.
Bonta. Jenkins was able to pop that up, but Buity right there on that inline for OL Reign.
Really nice ball from Lola Bonta, curling towards the mix of players for Kansas City and out of the reach of Buati in goal.
Edmonds. Quinn, they'll bring it over the near side of McNabb. Rapinoe at the halfway line.
Elizabeth Ball having a bit of a chat with Taylor Leach there. The center backs for Kansas City, making sure they stay tight together, not getting pulled far apart, opening gaps in the middle of the field.
Huerta. Victoria Pickett once again down for the Current.
pass coming in, and Victoria Pickett outside of her right ankle. It looked like blocking that pass, and immediately she hit the ground.
Victoria Pickett came on as a sub for Kansas City. Came on not too long ago for this current side.
Pickett in a lot of pain here. You see the pass from Rapinoe. It is her right ankle there, you can see. It just gets kicked actually from the inside as her foot is going up. Because of that, it could have hit the bottom of her cleat, causing her ankle to twist outward. There's a really painful ankle turn. Ankle twist, really common in soccer, but most often it's the outside of your foot that gets pushed inwards and your foot falls in that way. This time it was the inside of her foot being pushed outward.
So now
really
a possible
painful
decision here for Hugh Williams again. If Victoria Pickett's not able to walk this off, sometimes that's all it takes is you just get up, you're able to walk off under your own power, start that jog.
The little bit of pressure almost relieves some of the pain as you start to walk in an ankle injury like that, because ankle ligaments are so flexible, especially players that have had previous ankle turns and injuries. They tend to roll pretty easily, but once you start to walk and put pressure on, the ligaments snap back into place and you feel much more comfortable as a player.
Currently in the 70th minute between Kansas City and OL Reign. OL Reign up 3-0, got their first goal coming off an own goal by Kansas City. Then Losamer with a brace here in the second half. First goal coming in the 49th minute, second goal coming in the 64th.
Looking like Pickett's just gonna get that ankle wrapped up and taped up so it's much more sturdy. No substitute being made for her yet as trainers whip out the tape. No American football tape either, going over the cleat. She takes her cleat off and the socks, and there we go, seeing the ankle taped up.
Victoria Pickett, an All-American out of the University of Wisconsin, from Ontario. Another one of these bright Canadians with a strong future ahead.
Losamer and Taylor Leach getting tangled up. Taylor Leach winning that foul call.
Pickett, now Kiki. Hamilton. Edmonds now playing the 6. We've seen Edmonds playing outside back. We've seen her play at the 8. We've seen her play at the top of the midfield.
Really such a versatile player. She can play on both sides of the ball. So much character, so much leadership, and she really steps up in moments of need. We saw her take the penalty kick versus Gotham. She was so pumped to score that one. Hugh Williams called Kristen Edmonds the ultimate teammate. I'd love to hear that.
4 draft pick, Kiki Pickett bringing it in and cleared away by OL Reign. Look at Kiki Pickett, drafted in this year's NWSL draft. Of course, we will have the 2021 draft take place in Los Angeles Saturday, December 18th. Registration for NWSL draft will open on Wednesday, November 3rd, so that's next week when registration opens for that. And then we also have the expansion draft with the 2 new teams in San Diego, as well as Angel City coming in. That expansion draft will be Thursday, December 16th, also in Los Angeles.
Tough ball from Edmonds as she tries to find ball coming out of the back.
Beautiful ball up to Lavelle. Lavelle pauses.
Lavelle had the initial defender beat with the Maradona spin in the box, and then just gets caught up under her. Great job by Kansas City, dropping all their players back behind the ball, and 2 closing in on Lavelle, making the space around her really tight.
Mary sitting on 2 goals. If she does score a third, it would be the first hat trick on the season. Talk about the various players alone here on OL Reign that have scored a brace, 4 in total. There being one of them, Rapinoe, harassing Adi Franch.
With such a tight golden boot race, it's interesting to think that none of those players have scored a hat trick. With Bethany Balser up there with 9, Ashley Hatch with 10, Daly Purse also with 9, and none of them scoring a hat trick. Les Omer could be the first in the final game of the season, no less.
This one headed up by Ball. Les Omer chips it out wide, falling down is Kiki Pickett. Rapinoe, back post, looking for Les Omer. McCain out wide. Pressure once again by Rapinoe. And now we will have a pair of subs, and Bethany Balser, who has 9 goals on the season, like you said, she'll make her way in, looking for that 10th goal possibly, replacing Rose Lavelle.
16, Lavelle. She's replaced by number 24, Balser.
Bethany Balser, a player that has come so far undrafted and becomes Rookie of the Year, and now tied for second in the Golden Boot race with 9 goals, like you mentioned, and all of her goals coming from inside of the box. It's her aggression right in front of the goal that has been so affected for Balser. Because of that, we'll have Marajan drop back into the midfield in Rose Lavelle's position, as Balser will play that number 9 center striker alongside Les Omer and Meg Rapinoe.
So Victoria Pickett will have to head off with that injury that will bring on Kate Del Fava. Maddie Nolf also coming in for Mallory Weber. So now all 5 subs have been used for the Current. If you're just joining us, the name reveal at half. Kansas City now rebranded, and the new crest, they will be known from here on as the Kansas City Current.
New name, new crest, but similar colors. I love the bright red and the teal socks for the Current.
Cook. Here's Les Omer, loses possession. Labonta. Brought down by Hamilton. Car collision there between Hamilton and Cook. Cook able to stay on her feet. Cook playing every minute since coming over on loan from PSG. Cook, one of those players eligible to represent the USA as well as England. Her father is English. Go back to a player that's been representing 2 different countries. You look at Sofia Huerta representing both Mexico and the USA, but now capped more by USA, so she is going to represent them going forward. Possibly try to make her way into a training camp with Vlatko Andisnovski. Huerta into the area. Barnes. We have a player down behind. Kristen Hamilton, the player slow to get up. Hamilton out of the University of Denver before from the Western New York Flash, then North Carolina Courage. Coming over in a trade this year with Caitlin Rowland and Haley Mace for Amy Rodriguez and allocation money. One of those players that they could build this team around. Haley Mace out tonight. See that leg being looked at here for Kristen Hamilton. Hamilton 2 goals on the season. take a look back, see if what happened here.
This was a play a few minutes ago. You see there as Hamilton goes down, right ankle and right foot really getting caught under her. Excuse me, left foot getting caught under her as she falls to the ground after trying to receive that through ball. Kristen Edmonds, always the player standing next to her teammate that's getting assessed by the trainer. True leadership quality in Edmonds there.
It was one of the things that Hugh Williams talked about, the character of Edmonds, her leadership ability, as Kristen Hamilton is able to walk off under her own power. Lisa, with this remaining 10 minutes or so, what are you looking for Kansas City for that final jolt? Who is there someone that you feel that can be effective up front as they look for that first goal? Because trailing 3-0, you want to try to get something back in return to make this game a little bit closer here.
Well, it's not looking positive if Kristen Hamilton is one of those players coming off, but Kate Delfava subbing on, having those fresh legs. I think Addie McCain can provide a really big spark. You see her in the center circle at the top of that midfield diamond near Lola Bonta. Those players, those are the ones that can provide a spark, but it's the creativity and the movement off the ball that needs to really start for Kansas City.
You look at Kate Delfava, 17 goals her senior season out of Illinois State. Last year with Utah Royals FC before making the switch to this expansion side. Of course, we have NWSL action between Portland and North Carolina. And then tomorrow, closing out the NWSL season with Washington and Houston at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then Gotham hosting Louisville. That one will be at 3 p.m. Eastern. NWSL Championship, of course, will be held at Lynn Family Stadium on November 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern on CBS. You can get your tickets at nwslsoccer.com/championship. Over 5,000 tickets have already been sold as Quinn will play this outside to Huerta. Fishlock driving it.
After the venue change, initially the championship being held and hosted by the Portland Thorns at Providence Park, now being moved to Louisville, Kentucky at Lynn Family Stadium, and so many tickets already sold. A good move, actually the move initiated by the players for a better kickoff time, and the league responded to that request with the move. You can see the urgency from Kansas City. Even Nolf, as she picked up that ball to throw it in, it's just
an opportunity here, and this one blocked away. Lining that up was Delfava for Kansas City.
And Nolf, another player coming off the bench for Hugh Williams, that's really providing a spark here, trying to do an old trick around Marjan.
McCain on the inline. Balser. Marjan with a pass to the outside, and Jess Fishlock. Huerta tracking her down as Labonta. Rapinoe. Bosomer back to Rapinoe. And another corner for OL Reign.
Defended really well by Nolf. As Rapinoe went to do this give and go with Les Omer, she stuck exactly with Rapinoe, defending this cross from coming in and giving OL Reign another corner kick of this match.
Just the 11th corner for OL Reign tonight.
Their second goal of this match coming off of a corner kick taken by Rapinoe and finished by Les Omer.
Rapinoe Headed down. Still loose, still on the edge. And now Adie French grabs it out of the air, and she will just lay on top of this ball for a moment.
La Sommer getting on the end of this initially on the back post. She sends it back across. Balser trying to finish it. Actually, Elizabeth Ball just dancing on the end line with it. At that point, you might as well just let it go out for a corner kick. Almost another great opportunity from OL Reign before France jumps on it.
Nolf down the line. Delfava in pursuit, and right there is the captain, Lauren Barnes. Ball. Delfava. Jenkins looking to give it back to Delfava, and here's Fishlock. Jenkins wins the ball right back. Nolf into the spot.
Last two crosses from Nolf just behind her runners in the box, and then because of that, Kansas City current forwards have to slow up their run, track back to pick up the ball.
Jenkins. Corner here for Kansas City.
Almost a close redirect from Jenkins as she sent that cross in, and it gets bounced around, almost going towards the near post.
Labonta sets up in the near corner. Good battle here between Ball and Marjan, and Ball's going to be called. Stinted that arm right there.
Multiple substitution for the OL Reign in the 86th minute.
And now the Brazilian Angelina will come on.
She's replaced by number 26, Angelina.
Angelina will replace Marjan.
Number 9, Lusamere. She's replaced by number 7, Allie Watt.
Allie Watt will come in for the
number 5, Quinn.
goal scorer in Lusamere, who has 2 goals on the night for OL Reign.
86th minute.
And then Amber Brooks will also come on. And Brooks will replace Quinn.
Great shift from those players. Marjan doing so much work defensively for OL Reign. She started as a forward, dropped back into the midfield, and then played a much more defensive role in these last 10 minutes or so. Le Sommer getting a brace on the night. Really good effort from her. A great season and regular season. Excited to see this OL Reign team continue on in the playoffs.
Watt with Balser to her left. Watt to that right foot. Ball goes down, makes the challenge, wins the ball for Kansas City. Angelina, now Fishlock. Team Brooks playing that holding midfield spot for OL Reign. We've seen her play in the back line in her career. Bring in the veteran Brooks, and then you bring in the 2 younger players in Allie Watt, as well as Angelina.
Although younger players, Watt and Angelina, still so much skill between them and their versatility on the pitch to play different positions and also just to be really dynamic in their movement on the pitch.
Laponta will spray this up, and nothing happening here for Kansas City as Alana Cook right there. Jenkins and Cook going at it. And now we will have another substitution. And now maybe we'll see if this substitution happens. And there it is. So Valentuas Joyce will come on for Sarah Buidi.
Substitution for the OL Reign in the 89th.
You have to think Laura Harvey is looking ahead to the future. With this win, OL Reign secure a second ranking in the standings, guarantees them the #2 seed this win and a home semifinal match. And with these substitutes, Marjan, Le Sommer, Quinn, and now Buidi, who took a knock in this second half, coming out as to get some rest and also allow some of these other younger players to get minutes on the pitch, especially against a really fiery Kansas City current team.
Look at with Reign clinching that second spot with the victory tonight. They will host the winner of the 3 seed versus 6 seed. Washington can clinch the 3rd seed with a win tomorrow. Otherwise, you're looking at Chicago as the #3 seed.
So many moving parts throughout this last weekend. Wins, goal differential, tiebreaker scenarios, and OL Reign being one of the teams that really holds their destiny in their own hands with this win tonight over Kansas City.
If you really want to even get into it a little bit further, we could see with the top 2 seeds being solidified, Portland with the Shield at #1, OL Reign in that 2nd spot. We could see a Cascadia rivalry in the NWSL Championship. Laponta crossing, chopped down by Barnes.
It's so fun to look at all the possibilities of this postseason and how competitive this regular season has been. I can't even begin to imagine the competition that we will see take place in the postseason.
Five minutes of stoppage time. Stoppage time brought to you by Verizon.
5 minutes of added time in the second half.
Lots of time added on. We had a number of injuries throughout this second half. Pickett's ankle injury, Buidi's nosebleed and injury there.
Look at the one other game tonight, Portland and North Carolina. Tomorrow, Washington and Houston at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on CBS, you'll have Gotham hosting Racing Louisville. That one at 3 p.m. Eastern. Still waiting for those final 2 spots here in the playoffs. 6 teams moving on this year. Watt. Brooks. Pickett able to stab that ball away, and ultimately it will find its way past the touchline. Great game here for OL Reign to build to the playoffs, and importantly getting a week off as well with that bye week to rest some of these players. Sarah Buidi being one of the ones that comes to mind with that collision that she had with Kristen Hamilton earlier. Looking at a variety of these different players representing different countries, so allowing them to get a longer rest as well.
And playing in front of your fans one last time, especially in the postseason, you expect a big turnout for any of these home playoff matches for these squads, which does play a factor in how these teams play on the pitch, knowing that they have their 12th man in the stand cheering them on.
Now the Currents, Maddie Nolf playing it up. And still looking for that first goal, trying to find it here late. McNabb. Balser. Angelina, the Brazilian.
$18 shots so far for OL Reign throughout this match. We talked about the corner kicks, at least 11 taken throughout this 45 minutes. One of their 3 goals coming off of corner kick opportunity, but just so much pressure offensively put on Kansas City's back line, forcing the first opening goal of this match to be an own goal on Kansas City.
Huerta. Striding forward, Del Fava in pursuit. Watt. Angelina. And now OL Reign will just reset. Now in the circle is Barnes. OL Reign will host the winner of the 3rd seed versus 6th seed in the playoffs. We'll do that at Cheney Stadium, where they have 8 wins on the season. Trying to make Cheney Stadium that home field advantage. Also one of the smaller fields, playing on a baseball diamond. Now a yellow card handed to Amber Brooks.
3rd yellow card of the match. First one to an OL Reign player. The other 2 being awarded to Kansas City players. Lola Bonta in the first half, and then Kristen Hamilton in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Interesting, yellow card accumulation does not carry over into the playoffs. Only red cards, so if a player in this final weekend were to get 2 yellows or a straight red, they would be suspended from a playoff game. However, a 5th yellow card accumulation would not mean that.
Lisa, there is the final whistle. OL Reign will close out this season with a victory against the Kansas City Current. Your thought on tonight's action?
Really strong performance from OL Reign. That's exactly what Laura Harvey wants to see from her squad in their last regular season match before they take on the playoff run. And for the Current, Kansas City, a tough way to end the season at home. However, they did it in front of their fans with the reveal of their new crest, new name, new things, and a bright future ahead for Kansas City. Overall, a really nice match between these 2 squads, and a good performance to see from OL Reign heading into the playoffs.
And with that win, OL Reign clinches the 2nd spot in the standings as they get the victory over the Kansas City Current by a final of 3-0. And there you get a great look at that new logo right there for Kansas City. We'll step aside. We'll return with highlights and stats when we return. OL Reign goes on the road to close out the season with a victory over the Kansas City Current by a score of 3-0, as we'll take a look back at the highlights from the 90 minutes of play between the Kansas City Current and OL Reign.
Fun match between these 2. It started in the 35th minute as Rapinoe sends this ball in. Kansas City, they just can't clear it though, as this ball comes back wide to Huerta, who had a fantastic night on the flank, sending crosses in. And it's an own goal from Kiki Pickett for Kansas City that gets OL Reign on the board first. The run from Rose Lavelle, throwing everything off in the box for Kansas City's defensive ends. And then right at the start of the second half, it was the 10th or so corner kick from Rapinoe, and it finds Le Sommer on the back post as it bounces through Rose Lavelle, who gets a little touch Lavelle will be awarded the assist on that Le Sommer goal. 64th minute. Through ball to Megan Rapinoe, who does a nice little give and go here to get the ball back inside the box. And look at Le Sommer streaking towards the back post. It's the late run from her that makes it really difficult for Kansas City defense to pick her up. Le Sommer ending the night with a brace and a 3-0 win for OL Reign to clinch number 2 spot in the standings.
A dominant performance by OL Reign as we take a look at the stats from the 90 minutes of play. You look at the shots, you look at the shots on goal. Well, OL Reign controlling this one.
Definitely. I think the scoreline really is honest of how this match played out. Kansas City Current, though, putting in a lot of pressure. We saw lots of substitutes and rotations from Hugh Williams, trying to get players on and also to bring an offensive spark, but not enough against OL Reign, who really ultimately just wanted this win, wanted to end their season on such a positive.
OL Reign clinching the second position with that victory. So we do know 4 teams that are moving on, but we still have a chance between 3 to make those final 2 positions in Gotham, Houston, and North Carolina.
Portland Thorns and OL Reign clinching that 1st and 2nd spot earns them a first-round bye in the playoffs, and they will host the semifinal matches in November ahead of the championship final on the 20th.
So for OL Reign, they will have some time off to regroup and really enjoy that first round of the playoffs, as they will have that bye. But they get the victory here on the road at Legends Field. Kansas City Current falling in this one, as OL Reign shows why they are one of the teams to beat here as we get closer to the playoffs beginning next weekend for our crew. For Lisa Roman, I'm Josh Toll. Thank you.